Angels Stadium, it's Orange County's largest sports venue and the center of a new controversy in Anaheim. The city, which owns the stadium, is in the middle of negotiating with Angels team owner Arte Moreno on a new lease deal. Mayor Tom Tait says his council colleagues have weakened the city's negotiating position by allowing the team an extra 2 years to leave while they hammer out a new long-term lease. He's also upset that the new proposed lease allows Moreno to drop Anaheim from the team name and leases 150 acres of city land to Moreno essentially for free to develop property, with potential tax revenues going back to fund Moreno's existing maintenance obligations. Meanwhile, city consultant Charles Black says the mayor is mischaracterizing the entire process. He argues that what Tait wants to do is roll the dice and that the deal points are just a starting place for negotiations. Tait and Black sat down with us to chat about the issue and quickly clashed over what it is exactly the council has agreed to.
It's a crazy move. I mean, like you say, you have a deadline, but time is on our side. Time was on our side. Every day that went by was tougher for them to move on, I think impossible. You know, they talk about Angels moving downtown Los Angeles. I'm sure the Dodgers would love that. I'm sure they'd like to accommodate that and let the Angels play there for a year or two while they build the Angel Stadium next door to Dodger Stadium. That's a real plausible scenario.
They were co-tenants at one time.
I didn't interrupt you, Charles. I didn't interrupt you.
The real point, Charles, well, I'm going to interrupt you on this because I'm not going to let you twist my words. The real point is there are opportunities to move elsewhere. In downtown, there are probably 30 sites.
You mentioned Dodger Stadium particularly, and that's why I brought that up.
One of many. One of many sites.
What's another one? You said 40 or 30 or 40 or tell me practically.
If I had a map, I could walk you around. I could show you different places where.
I'm just asking for one.
All you need is 12 acres. All you need is 12 acres. You have sufficient parking within walking distance of any 12-acre site that's either cleared or clearable, and you've got a potential venue. So you can't deny the fact that Charles, Anaheim is a potential interim venue.
Not to prove a point, to enforce our lease. To say
that doesn't enforce your lease.
They opt out, then where are they going to go?
It doesn't enforce your lease.
Well, if
they're in compliance with the lease.
Seriously,
they're in compliance with the lease. Seriously, what? Seriously.
If they opt out, why would we say, hey, go ahead, Angels, opt out, leave Anaheim, and by the way, you can stay here for another 5 years while you're building your stadium? Why would we do that?
Do you think...
When we have a piece of property that's worth probably $380 million.
Well, we'll get to that
and we can get a return on. Okay, so I'm just saying,
to that.
If you were representing the city...
Don't you think that's a reckless move? Don't you think it's reckless to roll the dice?
You've used that twice now, reckless.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I'm an outside negotiator, and for me to recommend reckless behavior...
You're our attorney for the people of Anaheim.
Correct.
All right? So it's first of all, it's awfully odd that I'm sitting here arguing with our attorney rather than a council member.
Well, you're the one who chooses to argue, Tom.
Charles,
you're the one who engages in the misstatements that cause me to respond.
Well, I'm engaging in your misstatements.
I don't think what you're suggesting makes any sense for the city. It's reckless. You're rolling the dice. What's reckless is betting that Arte Moreno's going to knuckle down. I don't think that makes a lot of sense when you have the ability to craft something that makes sense for him and makes sense for the city.
And it's awfully odd arguing with my attorney calling me reckless for not signing a binding agreement on a 3-day notice over Labor Day. Saying that is reckless.
Why is that odd? Why is that odd? These are public issues that get negotiated in public, and I mean you seek out the public,
and you call transparent over a Labor Day weekend to change a lease to give them another 3 years. When I asked for a continuance, and you said it had to be done now. No. All right.
Tom, I didn't vote. I don't vote on your council, but
the
4 council members did vote.
It's just odd that another council member, there's 4 people who voted for this, and not one of them's here, and instead our attorney is here arguing with me and calling me reckless.
Oh, well, what did you expect? I think you are reckless. I think your suggestions are reckless and they don't make sense. And I have an obligation to the client, which is the city, to make recommendations that are in the best interest of the city. And I think your recommendations are not the best interest
well,
of the city.
I think you are reckless. And I think pushing this agreement is reckless with no public input or very little public input with no notice. We're getting for $1 a year 100 or 155 acres plus or minus given to a partnership owned by Artie Marino, not the Angels, till the year 2079, property that is worth, I believe, hundreds of millions of dollars. We're also getting an agreement from a baseball team, Major League Baseball team, named after another city, to play in our town, their home games in our town for 20 years. And we're also getting a platinum luxury suite and 1/4 of another suite and some seats.
Is that all you're getting?
That's all we're getting.
Well, then you're clairvoyant, because you've just described today
I'm talking
what
about
we're going to work on for the next 6 or 8 months.
That's what we agreed to in the MOU.
That's not true. That's absolutely false. And
That's
it's difficult
do you have
for
the
me
MOU
to
with you?
sit here.
Charles, do you have the MOU with you? It's online. Everyone can read it.
I probably have one here somewhere, but it says it's non-binding. I mean, Tom, you're mischaracterizing,
No.
and I think it's incredible that you keep doing that. Just because you say it over and over again doesn't make it true.
You're saying it
it's
over
not
and over
true
again.
now. It's not going to be true next week. It wasn't true on September 3rd.